Hello, and welcome to the Fred Summer Show. I am Roy Evans, and of course I am sitting here alongside your Edward Waters men's head basketball coach, Coach Fred Summers. How you doing tonight, Coach?
Man, I'm doing great, man. How about you?
Hey, look, it's a great day here in Tigerland, and we're getting ready to get it going and talk some Tiger basketball and some of the things that you've got going on and what's happening with the team, and just kind of get the faithful and the fans excited about what they got to look forward to this season.
Right.
So are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Well, let's start off now. Right now, your official record, you're 2-1 on your official record, but you've done some other things, and we'll get into some of the games that you play. But talk to us a little bit about how your season gets going and how it gets started. What do you guys do to get ready for, of course, getting ready to play GCAC conference ball in January? But what kind of things do you have leading up to that?
Well, first thing, the exhibition games, Division I opponents, the Division II opponents, played some very tough games, and the first one was against Lemoyne College out of Memphis. A tough, big team, athletic team, and we wanted to play those different type teams to prepare ourselves for what we'll see in GCAC conference play. Went to Lemoyne, played that exhibition game. We were a little short-handed, but the guys played hard and did the things that we could do. Lemoyne was just a little bit bigger than us on that night. The next exhibition game was against FAMU. Went to FAMU and played really well. Just maybe had a 4 or 5 minute stretch where we didn't play well, and the game kind of got away from us. We had to start fouling a little bit, and they stretched their lead out to about 16 points. Final exhibition was against Stetson. Much better showing. The guys really stayed resilient and fought to the end. We lost that game 65-60, but I was really proud of those guys and what they were able to do in that comeback down there.
Okay. Well, so we talked about that exhibition season because that is something that's good. Folks know you, of course, at this point, you guys, Edward Waters is an NAIA school. I'm going to get it out eventually. But you are playing those NCAA schools, those Division Is, Division IIs, and getting that type of experience and exposure for your teams. And, of course, one of the things that a lot of people are talking about now, and especially as it relates to basketball, with kids looking at different options for colleges. Listen, if you can play, they're going to find you. And you just have to do your best and get into a place, into a system that works best for you.
Correct.
So we talked about the exhibition. Let's talk a little bit about the games that have counted towards the record so far. Right. So we're 2-1. Let's start with the loss. What was the loss that we had?
We had a loss against Florida Memorial. Florida Memorial came in here and was a very tough team. We did some things that we were really proud of in that ball game. We turned them over 37 times. So our defense really stepped up, and we just made a few mental mistakes. But that's bound to happen with a team that's very new, and guys still trying to find each other out and figure out how to play with each other. But not to take anything away from Florida Memorial, they came in and they took care of business and did what they were supposed to do. We missed some free throws and just didn't take care of a couple of things down the stretch.
And we will definitely get into that conversation about what the team is looking like this year, being pretty much a brand new squad for you from what you had last year. But we actually had a chance to broadcast that game, and we did see you guys fought back. I believe it was from a 19-point lead, cut the lead to about three points in the game. And like you said, we actually talked about that on the broadcast last night. That one of the things that hurt were the free throws that were missed, and so you had that opportunity, even though they did get down. Team was very resilient in that game against Florida Memorial, showed that they could get in, and Florida Memorial did have a little bit more size. You talk about the height in comparison to where you guys were, and got some really good, some good things out of that. And let's go to your first win of the season that you got. Who was that game?
The first win was against Southeastern Baptist out of Laurel, Mississippi. Another tough, scrappy team, and we played them on their home court in a hostile environment. The guys fought and fought and fought, and like I said, once again, they continue to show that resiliency. We had to lock down on defense, and they did the things we needed to do to win that ball game. And that's another game where we were short-handed, and I'm very, very happy with the guys that stepped up and was able to get us that win.
All right. Well, then we're going to move on to the next game, which was actually a game that took place last night here at Adam Jenkins Center, and it was against Morris College.
Correct.
And that was another win. And the team, we talked about the free throw issues in the Florida Memorial game last week. Well, that was a complete role reversal last night. I think of your free throws, you guys missed 2 or 3?
22 or 25.
22 or 25, and we made note of that. Brian was definitely looking at that and saw those numbers. You got some extremely aggressive and productive and great play out of your guards last night. Let's talk a little bit about what were your adjustments that you made coming from that Florida Memorial game, going into this particular game, and how that helped it with the system.
Well, the adjustments that were made, I've always played with good big men.
Okay.
So even high school, college, and even when I played on the semi-pro level, I had great bigs. And as a guard, you want to play with bigs. I haven't been a proponent of this small ball thing. And I always wanted to be able to pound the ball inside and control ball games. So this year, I have a different makeup of my team. So it's forcing me to play small ball. I didn't want to. I've tried to fight it in every which way I could. And I just said, my coaches told me, they said, you know what, coach? Said, as much as you want to fight it, we got to go with it. So last night was one of those nights we went small ball, and man, the guys they showed me another side last night, and I said, well, maybe we're on to something, But I know, like I said, from a defensive standpoint, that's got to be our identity. And
okay.
But offensively, we just wanted to open the floor up and let the guys play a little bit more, and let those small guys do what they do.
All right. Well, we definitely were looking at that, and we know you had a couple of players come in that were 4 of 5 or 6 of 7 from 3-point line, and they were out there. They were getting in transition, but it all did start with the defense last night. And as we're seeing some of these clips, they were pressuring the ball. We talked about one of the players from Morris College who hit their first 9 points, and we were even saying at the time the game it was him 9, Edward Waters, and we were down a little bit, but the guards then picked up the intensity on him and made it much more difficult. One of the things that we also talked about in the broadcast was that it was the defense that they were playing was not allowing Morris to set their offense.
Right.
And the guys, the guards for Morris ended up spending a lot of time dribbling and then trying to rush into something. With your defensive pressure, knowing that you have to use these guards and the smaller forwards to get things done, does that also lend itself to the up and down, fast break type of basketball? And how do you think your guys are going to respond to that outside of what you saw last night?
I think they'll respond to it very well, because number one, it's one of the ways that they want to play.
Okay.
It was me holding them back. It was me holding them back, but they want to play fast, and I know in order for us to play fast, we got to get up and apply defensive pressure, get steals, and to be able to get out in transition. And but we're conditioned for it, man. We've been here since May, lifting and running, and with our strength and conditioning coach Marcus Richardson, man, who's doing a heck of a job with the guys. And one of the things I told him going into this season was, last season we got pushed around a lot.
Okay.
And I said that would not be a problem this season. I said, we're going to be able to fight and bang and do the things we need to do physically on the floor. But you can't teach height.
Right.
Although Lemoyne was a little bigger, Florida Memorial was a little bigger, but you won't be able to push us around.
Right. Well, and so you mentioned that, like I said, that was one of the challenges that you had last season that you looked at. But as we talked about, you have almost a brand new team.
Yes.
2 people held over?
Return.
Two returnings. Tell us a little bit about that transition, and like you said, how do you think that's how long does that process take, or what is it that gets those guys to understand each other? Because we know that basketball is one of those sports where rhythm and chemistry matter. Getting used to knowing where players are and how they move.
That was one of the reasons why we wanted to play all of the exhibition games early.
Okay.
So give them time to start gelling. 4 or 5 games in, and after practice and the exhibition games and that at the beginning of the season, it's time for you to start clicking early. And like I said, we started seeing it last night. So I don't think it's going to be a long, drawn-out process. We'll have some bumps here and there, but and that's going to come with injuries and other reasons that a guy may be sitting out, or you may be missing a player or 2 here and there. But I don't think it will be a long process.
Okay. What's the makeup of this team as it relates to classifications? How many freshmen? How many sophomores and things like that?
We brought in 4 freshmen. We have 2 sophomores. 4 freshmen, 2 sophomores, and 6 juniors.
6 juniors. So no seniors.
No, well, I'm sorry, 1 senior.
1 senior. Okay.
One senior.
Well, that's a good core. You got some things coming back, and you'll be able to build on that on that process with those players.
Absolutely.
So now we know that we just talked about where your season was, what you've done already. What's coming up next? What do we have that folks can look forward to?
Man, we look forward to packing the AJC Center again, and just getting the people in the stands and realizing that there's a good product here on Kings Road. I think with the new hires that the president has made, with our new athletic director, man, who has a wonderful vision, and he's just doing things to completely transform this program, and he's been 200% supportive from the very beginning. And like I said, the president, everybody knows he's 200% supportive. So he's one of our biggest fans. So
we call him the super fan.
Hey, man, look,
Dr. Faison. Shout out to Dr. Faison, the president of the university, as well as Mr. Paul Bryant, who is the new athletic director here at EWC.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
Yeah, no, they are definitely, like I said, Dr. Faison. that is our affectionate nickname for him. He is the super fan. He is 100% behind this EWC program, especially the basketball, and is there and is very adamant about what's going on. Well, we know that you've got an event this weekend that's going to be happening. I think it's considered your Thanksgiving Classic.
Right. Our first annual Thanksgiving Classic.
Okay. Cool. And who are the teams that we're going to be participating with?
We got Florida National University out of Miami. We got the University of Bahamas out of Nassau. And we got Stillman College out of Stillman, Alabama.
Okay. And they'll be able to check those games out. Of course, you'll be able to check the EWC games out at mybcsn.net/EWC. But if you're in the area, come on down. Check out some of the basketball. And like I said, get a chance to see these Tigers in person, because believe me, after the game last night, and like I said, even the game against Florida Memorial, it was a loss, but the excitement was there, and the energy, and you can see these young guys getting going, and talking about the young guys, and since now I know the makeup of it, looking at what you would consider the bigs that you have now. Where are those your freshmen? Are those the sophomores? What are those?
One is a freshman and 2 are juniors.
2 are juniors, okay. And and it's definitely, because we were looking at some things, and it looks like, again, finding their way.
Yes.
Kids have to find their way in the offense and in the defense. Where do I move to? How are my teammates rotating? So it's going to be an exciing journey.
Yes, it's going to be a real exciting journey, and I'm looking forward to it with these guys. They come to work every day. No complaints, and we're pushing. Like I said, we've been pushing them since May. Yeah. So these guys they're really excited. We're really excited, and like I said, we want to get the fans in the AJC Center, and let's get it done.
All right. And Coach, now I've got on one of you guys' shirts. What does the shirt say to the folks?
Just here for the win.
Just here for the win, and that's exactly what we want you to do. Come out and be supportive of these Edward Waters Tigers. They are doing some great things. Coach Summers, in his 2nd season here at Edward Waters, I'm telling you, if you're a fan of college basketball, you need to be checking these guys out. They are going to provide you with a great show. Coaches doing what a good coach is supposed to do. He knew what he wanted to do. He knew how he liked to play, but he looked at his roster. He looked at what he had on the court and said, "You know what? I'm not going to beat myself in that situation."
That's right.
And that's what, trust me, that's what a fan base loves to hear. Because, we got these coaches, and they'll say, "No, we're going to play this. I've got my largest guy is 6'6", and we're going to pound it in the middle." And, well, that's just not going to work.
Not going to work.
And so, let's before we get out, let's talk really quickly about a couple of the guys' performances from last night. And who impressed you the most, or who were you happy to see what they did the most last night?
Number one, I was happy to see Chandler Fontenot break out of his funk.
Yeah.
He shot the ball extremely well last night, and we've always known he was capable of doing that. Like I said, he led his junior college to the national tournament last year and did the same things he showed you guys last night. Another young man was Anthony Young, another young man that can score the basketball in bunches. He's only 5'10", but you would think he was 6'4", 6'5" by the way he plays. And these guys came in last night, and I'm just so proud of them, and just want them to continue doing the things that they were doing last night.
Yeah, and you mentioned definitely we'll start with Mr. Fontenot, and we, again, talked about that during the game. It was a straight heat check.
Yes.
I mean, he was, when he got into rhythm, and that was one of the things, being someone who was, not the best handles when I played basketball as far as I'm concerned. I could shoot when I got into a rhythm, but he had it naturally. And I mean, to see this young man just come off and his teammates were finding him, and it wasn't in a particular spot. It was just in whatever spot he decided to set up in, boom, he was there. Mr. Young was very aggressive.
Yes.
And that was something that was exciting to see. His defensive pressure was Mr. Knox. That was the player from Morris College, and it's like he came in and shut him down and just literally took him out of the game. And that strong defensive presence opened up the offense for them to be able to move forward with a lot of stuff. And so, Coach, again,
I forgot one. And I'm sorry, I apologize. I forgot Nikolai Radovich. Oh man, he came off the bench, and I think he was 3 for 5. 3 for 5
from the 3-point line. Yes, he was. Yeah.
This is a young man that hadn't played in 2 games. And
wow.
He came in and shot the ball extremely well for us last night, and we was happy to see him get his stroke going, and hopefully we'll see much more of that going forward.
And I think the advantage that you would have with him is him being one of what would be considered your bigs. He's going to pull a lot of folks away from the basket. That's going to open it up for your slashing guards and those folks to get in and make some movements. Because yes, he was another one that came in. And Coach, we were sitting in, and the fans behind us were hollering, "Porzingis, we got a Porzingis!" So they were excited about that. Those EWC students who were here watching the game were extremely excited, and we were telling them, "No, get his name right. Don't give him credit for who he is." But, Coach, is there any way that folks can get in touch with you guys, follow you all on social media?
Yes.
Specifically?
You can follow us at Edward Waters Men's Basketball. Edward Waters MBB on Twitter. You can follow us on Instagram. I'm not into the social media thing, so I
don't feel bad, Coach.
I don't have the hashtags.
It'll be on the screen so people will see it in front of us. But, yeah, me and you, I told people I'm an old head. I let Brian and them handle all that stuff. I get confused when I start looking at some of those too much.
I believe me, I got more important things to worry about.
All right.
And,
well, we're going to definitely, Coach, we're looking forward to being able to talk to you on a regular basis about what's going on with the season, keeping the fans up to date, and definitely letting folks know that EWC is definitely a viable program.
Yes, sir.
If you've got a young person that you're looking to get into a basketball program, Coach Summers is a great person to do that. You can reach out to us and get them out there, and we are looking forward to it.
You can always email us at mensbasketball@ewc.edu.
That is mensbasketball@ewc.edu. So we'll make sure, again, that'll be something else.
We respond to emails and we do review videos.
There you go. All right, Coach. So any last words before we get out of here?
Man, I just want to thank the fans. I want to thank President Faison and AD Brian for all of the support. I want to thank you guys for all of your support. And we just want to keep everybody continuing to come out to the AJC Center and support us. All
right. Well, there you have it, folks. Again, this weekend, come out to the inaugural Thanksgiving Classic here at EWC. There'll be the Stillman, I believe they're the Tigers as well, aren't they?
Stillman Tigers.
They're the Stillman Tigers. The University of the Bahamas,
Florida National
Mingos. Just get theirs, and I don't know what Florida National's mascot is.
Florida National Conquistadors.
And of course your EWC Tigers right here. And we got to get this place together, man. I know it's the Adam Jenkins Centers. We got to get ready. It's the Tigers prowling in the jungle, right?
It's the jungle.
We got to turn the jungle in, and believe me, if you have not been to one of these games, that atmosphere that you hit when you're here at the AJ Center, the AJC Center, it's amazing. I mean, it is just as electric as any college campus that you're going to be on, and the HBCU vibe and feeling is there. The band is rocking. Of course, the super fan is prowling the sidelines and getting everybody else excited. So one more time, this is Roy Evans. I'm here with Fred Summers of the Edward Waters men's basketball team. We look forward to talking with you all throughout the season, and make sure that you follow and watch the EWC games. You can check them out, of course, at mybcsn.net/EWC for all the home games. But if you're in the Jacksonville area, come on down. If you're in the Daytona area or Orlando, hey, make a trip, come on down and check the games out. You won't be sorry. Till next time, Coach, we'll talk to you later.
Thank you.